Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Jay's Beer Review. Just sitting here reading my Ale Street News periodical. Last time we talked, we were reading the Yankee Brew News, and I also get this periodical as well, thanks to my local beer distributor. Today I'm a little bit excited because it's kind of a special review for me for two reasons. Number one, the beer itself, and number two, what I'm drinking it in. Starters, the beer is G. Schneider Sohn. I'm thinking that's John. German for John, Aventinus. Now this beer here gets really high rankings everywhere I look. The company itself's been around for 130 years. Everybody I talk to says this is just one of the phenomenal best wheat beers out there. This is actually a wheat double bock, and it says German original wheat double bock. As far as alcohol by volume, I believe it's 8.2. Yep, 8.2. And I'm really looking forward to this beer. As far as glass, I am using my brand new German boot stein. My good friend Ron, that's in the military, is stationed in Germany, and he sent me this boot stein, and I'm really looking forward to drinking out of it. If anybody has ever seen the movie Beer Fest, the Broken Lizard group, they have to figure out how to guzzle out of a boot stein. I've had the Aventinus in my refrigerator for a while. The reason why I held on to it and chose it is because I was waiting to drink the Aventinus for the boot stein, and it's finally here, so now I can finally drink it. And as far as the boot stein itself, it's just got the different cities within in Germany right on it. I don't know if you could tell from there, but there you go. So with no further ado, let's get going. Now, I'm not exactly sure how you're supposed to pour into a boot stein, but I'm going to use my method. Ooh, I can smell the beer from here. I can smell it. It smells like raisins. Alright, well, as you can see, I got a lot of head going on there. It almost looks like a sock on the boot. I'm going to let this settle and get some more of the beer into it, and we'll come back to you in just a moment. Well, we're back. And as you can see here, I got me a nice full beer here with about a pinky-length head. The head was much bigger, but I thought it looked so cool that I ran off and got my camera and took a picture. So it did die down a little bit in the process of doing that. But you know, I think we got ourselves a good-looking beer here. The head itself very much is like what I would expect out of a wheat beer. You know, pretty fluffy and you know, big soapy like bubbles, but fluffy at the same time. The color here is it's pretty dark in color. It actually almost has like a purplish tint, and even the head is slightly purplish, which is kind of interesting because the label itself is also purple. So I was like, it was interesting to see that. Let's go ahead and give this thing a smell. Okay, it's got a really, really powerful fruity smell, almost like a grape. I smell like the clove that you'd get from a wheat beer, but a grape is on top of that. I think the grape is more powerful than the clove. Try. Now, as far as how to drink from the boot, I don't know if you're supposed to drink it like this or like this. But I'm going to drink it like this because that's how they do it in Beer Fest. And then when they get down to the foot, then that's when they turn it. So that's how I'm going to give this a try. But here we go. Pretty good. That's pretty strong. I could taste the alcohol. That's weird because I get like 4 different flavors from that. Let me take another sip. Okay. The thing I noticed the most is the alcohol presence. That's the first thing I noticed. The second thing I noticed is like a grape flavor, or like a raisin. I think a raisin would better define it, just say how what it tastes. The third thing I taste is like clove, and then the fourth thing I taste is like caramel. I don't necessarily get the banana taste that you get from a wheat beer, and that first sip was pretty powerful. But now that my palate has been able to take that in, that second sip went down a little easier. Definitely the strongest wheat beer I've ever had. The raisin taste that I get goes from from like raisin to like clove, and that transition almost makes it like a black licorice almost. It's not as cloudy as I'm used to with a traditional wheat beer. But I heard it's because the way they brew it is why it's not as cloudy. So it gets better as it goes down. I think it's too strong for like my personal liking to like it better than say the Weihenstephaner. But this is pretty tasty. I love all the different complex tastes I'm getting, all the different complex flavors I'm getting. But I'm gonna go ahead and drink some more of this, and I'll get back to you in a moment. All right, well, I'm back a little bit earlier than I anticipated, but I had to come back. For number one, this beer definitely gets better as each sip goes down. It's definitely like an acquired taste. You know, like your first sip, you're not gonna love it, but as it goes down, you are gonna you start liking it more and more because the tastes start really pouring out there as the beer warms a little bit. But that's not why I came back. I came back because, true to fashion, like in the movie Beer Fest, that my beer started guggling, bubbling on me as I was drinking it because of the way it's designed. So I guess that is when you have to turn it. But I just wanted to show you that. I thought that was interesting. Let's see if you can see that on tape. Okay, well, I'm back, and as you can see, I got just a little bit of beer here left. Overall, I think this is a good beer. I know a lot of people rank this extremely high, especially like the professionals and things like that, and it was a very good beer, but I think it may be a little too strong for me to like on a consistent basis, and that's not to say that it's a bad beer because of that, but for my own personal taste, it's just a little strong, but it's still a very good beer. It's just not going to get a top-notch ranking because of that. I mean, the presence of alcohol is clearly there from beginning to end, and I even got a buzz just from this one, bomber I had. Again, as far as flavor goes, it had like a raisin taste or a grape taste, followed by a clove taste, and as the transition went through, maybe like a black licorice taste is what I got. It went down relatively well, traditional like a wheat beer would. And overall, I think this beer is a pretty good beer, but just not a top-notch, only because of my personal taste. A lot of people are probably going to love this kind of beer, especially people who love like high alcohol rated beers. But I'm going to go ahead and give this drink this final bit and give you my final thoughts and grade. As you can see, that even took a little while to finish off because how high the alcohol was for me. But as final grade, I'm going to give this a 3.6, which makes it a pretty darn good beer. Anything above a 3.5 is an excellent beer, so a 4.0 is a top-notch beer, so it's below that. But I thought this beer was pretty darn good. Just a little too strong for me to give it a top rating, which would be above a 4. A lot of people are probably going to disagree, and that's fine, but it's still a great beer regardless. Again, that was Schneider and John's Aventinus. And till next time, thanks for watching. Alright, folks, for a little bonus material, what I decided to do was, I wasn't sure if I was going to do this in a separate review itself, but I didn't know what the success rate's going to be because I'm not a real good guzzler. But I decided what I was going to do was I was going to try to drink a beer guzzling it out of the boot stein, just like they do on Beer Fest, without spilling a drop. Let's see how I do. I'm going to use a Weihenstephaner Hefeweiss for the beer, so let's see how it goes. Alright, I'll be back in just a moment because as you can see I got a huge head on this beer. I think we're ready. As you can see, we still got a nice good-sized head in this. And I think we're ready to go. If anybody's ever seen the movie Beer Fest before, what they say is you're supposed to drink it like this to start with, and as it starts gurgling, turn it sideways and finish it off. Now, I'm not a good guzzler at all. That's not my forte. But I want to give this a shot. So, here we go. Oh, I need to be more drunk to do this shit. I was better when I was 23 at college frat parties. Not very good. That sucked. Well, anyway, there's a chug out of the boot. Till next time.